What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Friday, by the way. Hopefully, you guys are having a good end of the week here. Look what we got here from the official Raid Shadow Legends channel here. We got a teaser of the upcoming collab. I thought this wasn't real, actually, because nobody had heard about it. We had little bits of hints along the way for the last couple of weeks. They were mentioning something about Alice coming back. But in this case, it's going to be the Echoes of Oz. So instantly, you would think it's the Wizard of Oz oriented. Let's take a look at this quick teaser here and see what we're talking about. So we got what looks to be like a witch. Very evil, wicked looking witch. Lots of dead bodies on the ground. And yeah, she looks pretty cool. She got a cool staff here with a monkey. Oh, she got those flying monkeys, right? The evil flying monkeys. And then here at the very end, let's check out what it says here on the name here. So Echoes of Oz, and then we see the witch's hat, we see the tornado, and then we see a shoe with some wings on it. I'm not sure if I'm super excited about this. I do know the story a little bit about how this, I guess, little girl, similar to Alice, gets swept up away from her home in Kansas, and then she ends up in this land of Oz, and she meets a bunch of characters along the way. So I'm not 100% sure about the whole story. I haven't really watched it maybe in a long time. I didn't watch Wicked or anything. I know that's a movie based on it, but let's check out what AI has to say about it, just because AI is going to consume all that data and spit out to us quickly. So classic 1939 film, The Wizard of Oz, features iconic characters including Dorothy, Gale, Dorothy, Toto, the Scarecrow, Tin Man, Cowardly Lion, the Wizard, Glinda the Good Witch, and the Wicked Witch of the West. So we can only assume that this villain here is probably going to be the Wicked Witch of the West. Yeah, she looks pretty cool. I mean, she looks kind of like Madame Sirius, but I think it's not going to be Madame Sirius related or anything like that. She might actually be, I hope she's not an undead. Night Rev kind of makes sense. Dark Elves kind of makes sense. But hopefully not undead. All right, so we can kind of narrow that down. She is going to be the new event dungeon boss. I think they did mention new event dungeon here, so I would only assume that she's the new event dungeon boss. And then let's check out the other characters here. So we got Dorothy Gale. I would assume Dorothy Gale is similar to like an Alice character, so she'll probably be the free champion, especially since she's the main character in this entire collab. It's also interesting if we don't know if this collab is like a paid collab, because isn't Wizard of Oz public IP? I'm not too sure about that. Actually, I just answered my own question here. So you got to take a look here. The original 1900 book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, is the public domain. Okay, so however, the famous 1939 MGM movie is still protected under copyright and does not enter the public domain until 2035. So I'm not too sure. Maybe they're using the original stuff. Maybe they're using the 1939 stuff. Not too sure if it's going to be copyright protected or if it's paid domain or anything like that. But let's jump back into the character roster here. So we got Dorothy Gale, a sweet, brave girl from Kansas who wants to go home. So this is probably the login champion, would be my guess, similar to how Alice was given to us. Toto would be interesting, a small pet dog who joins in the journey. I think Toto is a white dog. Very small. It'll be interesting how they kind of incorporate that into this, this collab, right? Like maybe he's a massive dog, similar to what they did with the Cheshire Cat. That would be kind of interesting. But it's also possible that they just leave it out and then just give the dog kind of like how they gave the rabbit for Alice. They just put the rabbit on her body, right? Like for example, Alice here just kind of has the rabbit on her body. So they could just give Toto like on Dorothy's body and then just leave it like that. They don't have to make a full character for Toto. What's next? We have Scarecrow, a man made of straw who wants a brain. That could be interesting. Maybe similar to the aesthetics to somebody like Little Miss Annie, right? They could do something like Little Miss Annie, just pop off the top, for the Scarecrow, missing brain. I don't want to see another undead. The undead, it's pretty jam-packed, right? I don't want to see another undead, especially since Halloween is usually always undead, so they're going to put more undeads there. But yeah, Scarecrow would be an interesting one. I mean, somebody else that looks like kind of like a scarecrow would be like Harvest Jack, right? Almost similar to what scarecrow, a cool looking scarecrow would actually look like. What else? We got the Tin Man, a man made of steel who wants a heart. Again, it feels like this was almost what they were intending with the Alice Adventures Knave of Hearts, right? This guy almost looks like a Tin Man with missing a heart. I mean, he has a heart, but another Tin Man with no heart would be pretty interesting. I wonder what they would do with that. And then the Cowardly Lion. A Cowardly Lion, probably Skinwalkers, makes sense. We do have a lion here already, Leorius the Proud. He's very proud, so we need somebody the cowardly. Somebody the cowardly. That would be pretty cool. And seems like a fitting place. No other place for a lion, I think. And then lastly, we do have some of the baddies here. Let's see, the witches and wizards. The Wizard of Oz. So I would imagine the Wizard of Oz definitely needs to show up here. Maybe he's a mythical. Maybe he has a human form and then transforms into a giant green floating head. I guess I don't know. But yeah, the Wizard of Oz, a man who rules Emerald City. Glinda the Good Witch. So is there going to be a good witch to counter the bad witch? Because the bad witch, we can see, dark elf, night revenant, maybe undead type of vibe. And then we have a good witch, right? Probably part of the Tellurian League. Maybe she'll be like a Battlelord or Sacred Order or something like that. And then Wizard of Oz. So maybe, I could only see, based on previous collabs, a maximum of 6 characters given to us. So in this case, let's assume that Dorothy comes out with 1. Let's assume that Scarecrow, Tin Man, the Lions, that's 4. And then we probably only have room for 2 more, right? The Wizard of Oz, I would assume, would be in there, and then the Wicked Witch. So those would be my 6. So that means the Good Witch probably gets left out. And I'm probably okay with that. That's probably fine. Unless they want to cook up, unless they want to do something interesting with like making it a mythical where the front form is like Good Witch and the back form is like Bad Witch. I don't know. They could do something like that too. But those would be my 6 pick. Unfortunately, Toto doesn't make that lineup. And I think that's fine. Toto's just kind of like a dog. It's going to be hard just to make a full kit, interesting kit for a dog, right? But in this case, I think those are going to be the 6 that are going to be showing up. And yeah, Plarium did confirm that there is going to be a collab in August. So if you guys missed that bit of news, I mean, that was going to be, like I said, I was willing to bet money on that there was going to be a collab sometime in August, but they did confirm that. Now we do have a fusion still ongoing for Khmer Skull Eye, right? So it's not going to happen during that, most likely. So we have the fusion happening right now. And the last of the events will last until August 10th. So I wouldn't expect any kind of shenanigans for the collab to start until after the 10th. The 10th is a Monday, so maybe everything will start on that weekend. But there we go, guys. Wizard of Oz themed collab coming right up. Looks interesting. I'm not too sure how I feel about it. I'm not a big Wizard of Oz IP guy or anything like that, but it looks interesting, and I think there's some interesting characters here that they could definitely, raid up. They did a great job with Alice in Wonderland, so. And you know what? They did a great job with the turtles, incorporating them into Raid. So I have no doubt that Raid's going to do a good job with these characters from the Wizard of Oz, making them cool and fitting them into the Raid universe. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this news update. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Are you guys excited for the Wizard of Oz collab? Let me know if I missed anything in this video. Appreciate you guys watching until the end. Have a great day and have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys in the next video.